welcome to Kindred Stitchfolk. I'm your host, Emily. I'm so grateful that you could join me here today. Today is December 30th, so one more day until 2026. This episode is my 2025 Whip in Review or Whip Parade, whatever we want to call it. And I'm so excited to share with you what I've been up to this year. And my next special episode is going to be my plans for 2026. And boy howdy, there's a lot. I have been utilizing my Whip Warrior 2026 planner to start getting myself organized. So stay tuned for that episode. So then the other things I would like to do is explain to you who I am. For those of you who are new to my channel, who have just kind of stumbled upon me because of the title of this episode, welcome. My name is Emily. I am a lifelong third-generation Alaskan, and I say that with pride and joy and a little bit of trepidation because it's been a hard winter. Oh my goodness. Not as bad as other places in Alaska. I am in the big city of Anchorage, and I know to the lower 48ers, it's not a big city, but to Alaska, it's big. I am hailing to you from a new location in that this is my in-laws' house. We have officially moved out of our little tiny home, and it should be on the market either today or tomorrow. And we are house hunting, and we think we found a place that with some good elbow grease could possibly be our forever home. And so I just literally, like 3 minutes before I started this video, I was messaging with my realtor, who happens to be one of my oldest and dearest friends, and talking about like some things that are non-negotiable for us to actually sign an actual full offer contract. So I'm excited and scared, and yeah, I'm surprised I slept well last night. I don't know if the rest of you use the iPhone function of the sleep tracker or whatever, but I got a 97 score on my sleep last night. And since my last surgery, I have been consistently getting in the low 20s on my score. But since we have moved out of our tiny condo and so many things have happened, either I am so exhausted that it doesn't matter. I just fall asleep and sleep I don't think I turned over once or anything last night. I woke up in the same position that I recall falling asleep in. But I've been getting really good scores. I'm really happy about that. I'm hoping that means that I will have more energy as well. So some other things about me. I am a mom to a 3-year-old autistic son who, yes, is on the spectrum, but also, in my opinion, barely on the spectrum. But according to the medical records and all that, he's on the spectrum. And he's just a delight. It's good. I'm also the mommy to 2 doggies that we adopted last January. My heart dog passed away in 2023 in the late fall. And then in January we adopted, maybe I have a picture. I'll put a picture in because they're both asleep on opposite couches. Oscar, who's the black one and the mommy's boy, and Teddy, who's I call him my blonde dog, but apparently on paper he's apricot, which I can see that. He's got a little bit of red tint to him. And he is completely blind, has no eyes at all in his little noggin. And he is quite the troublemaker. He just does not care that he's blind. He does not care. And if you're wondering, it's been a rough year health-wise for me. Really rough. 3 surgeries. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 emergency room visits. And then just, it's been very, very difficult health-wise. I'm also a mental health clinical counselor. I am licensed in the state of Alaska, and I'm also licensed as a supervisor in the state of Alaska, which means that under my license, I can supervise those who are in their internship and those who are seeking licensure. So when they're seeking licensure, they've graduated from their master's program, and now they're accumulating the hours they need to get their license. And so while you're doing that, you have to be supervised under somebody else's license. So I'm one of those. I'm also the chief clinical officer. No, I am not that. I'm the chief practice manager. I have no idea what I am, but I just manage the day-to-day stuff for our organization. And then I've been holding back some really exciting news, and I'm finally going to share it with you. But for the past several months, I have been working with the Small Business Loan Association to launch my own business. It's not to replace my current career or anything like that, but my doctors have told me that I really do need to apply for disability. Well, that's just not happening for us. So I've been trying to think of what I can do that is compatible with me being able to work less at my regular job, which is extremely hard on me emotionally and physically. And I'm not talking like I'm getting abused or anything. It's just, dealing with people with a lot of trauma in their life every day. It wears on you, and those of you who think you don't take it in, you do take it in, and for somebody who's like me, it really wears my health down really fast. So I've been looking at those things, and so I've decided to try and open a mobile needle workshop. And I've been working with the Small Business Association. I've got an amazing counselor there. I love you, Trish. If you ever watch this, by the way, I love you. And she has been so helpful. I have my business plan all ready, and it's been ready for over a month now to submit to possible investors. The problem is that now that we've decided, not now that we've decided, because we're looking for a house, I can't actually go out and get a loan for my small business because that will be a ding on my credit. So we have to wait until after we buy a home before I can move forward with getting that. So I've been working on different things on the sidelines with Kindred Stitch Folk. That's going to be the name of my mobile stitch shop. And I've been working on, I've been teaching classes, working on curriculums. I've been working on designs, which I haven't really published out there to the broad world. I've let a few people in on, but not really put it out there too much. But I'm working on a schedule on actually publishing my designs in a systematic fashion over 2026. And so yeah, I've been working really hard. It's been a lot of work, but I'm super excited. So the reason why I decided to do a mobile needle workshop is because in Alaska, we are so spread out, and the communities range from teeny tiny, like 5 people, to in Anchorage, I don't even know how many 100,000 we have here in Anchorage. Growing up, it was less than 100,000, but there's been a huge boom in the last 20 years. So I'm guessing we have about 300,000 people here in Anchorage now. And everything in between. And one thing we do not have at all in Alaska, period, is a dedicated needle workshop. And by my calculations, a stationary brick and mortar needle workshop just won't work well here. A mobile one will work well, because then I can travel to all the fairs that people in Alaska, if we don't make it into town, we make sure and make it into the state fair. So like being able to do those kinds of things and special retreats and things like that, that's something that our people will go to and make a point to go to. Thus, if I'm there with my needle workshop, they'll be able to get the supplies that they would like for their craft and hobby. So I'm working on that. I've got a couple different options in the works as far as investors go. One is getting an actual motorhome and ripping out everything from the kitchen forward, but leaving the refrigerator and the microwave. And all of that will be the needle workshop. And then bathroom back is private area, so that Jimmy and I, and sometimes Jeremy, can have a place to sleep and we'll be safe. So when we shut things at night, we'll be okay. But at the same time, I'm not really sure that I need that amount, because I have friends in every single city in this state, and every single one of them I know would allow me to come and either stay overnight with them or park our motorhome in their driveway and be there. So there's that. The other one is getting a van of some sort and making that solely the needle workshop with like an awning going out or an additional blow up tent for the shop and stuff in area. So we've got a couple ideas in the works, but you know, we'll see how things go, but I'm really excited. So keep your ears peeled for Kindred Stitch Folk. It's gonna be amazing. I know it. Speaking of, I should get some wear, some apparel that has my logo on it and stuff. That'd be cool. So let's get on to the Wip Parade, shall we? So actually, I have to pause because I don't know what I've done with my phone that has all my stats on it. So one moment. Okay, I've got it. All right, so for the year of 2025, here are my stats. I have total finished crafted projects, 14. So that includes knit, crochet, and cross stitch. Total whips in progress solely on cross stitch, 25. Are you guys ready? Okay, so let's start with the FOs. Most of these I will only have to be able to insert pictures of because 8 have been gifted or exchanged, or like gift exchange kind of thing. Some, because of the packing and the moving, I can't find at the moment. So if I have a picture, I will show that. I do have 2 here that I was actually able to find and unearth and show you. So the very first thing, so I've got 2 stamped kits that I have finished this year, both of mountain scenes. And they were both stitched on 11 count with 3 strands, so 3 over 1. And I think they turned out beautiful. I absolutely love them. You'll see in my plans for 2026, I'm going to be continuing on with this series. So I'm really excited about that. And for finished objects, as far as knitted, I've got 1 huge finished object, which is my anthology throw that I knit using my 2024 Advent calendar kit from Maureen of Charming You. I can't find that blanket at the moment. I had it literally the day before I packed it because I cuddle with it all the time. Jimmy cuddles with it all the time. Cannot find it. No idea in what box it was put into. So I will find it when we get to our next home, or maybe I'll just stumble across it one day, but it is so beautiful and so lovely. Then I also crocheted for my doggies when I first adopted them back in January. I crocheted them a little toy using acrylic worsted weight, and then I just put in one of I've got a supply of squeakers so that I can make toys and stuff. And so I stuffed it full of stuffing with, I think I put 2 squeakers in there. I know one's died, but they love that thing. They've played with it and it's disgusting, so I won't show you what it looks like now, but here's what Teddy looked like when I first gave it to him when it was first done. Then for Mother's Day, I stitched her what I am calling the hummingbird sampler. It had no name, and this was my first counted cross stitch of 2025 that I did, counted cross stitch. And I think, it's so beautiful. As per Emily's style, there are some mistakes in there, but I made it work. I adjusted the pattern to work with my mistakes. Let's put it that way. And I love it. I do have plans in the future to make this into a pillow for my mother because she in no way needs more artwork for her wall, for their wall, my parents' walls. But she is like me, in which she absolutely loves pillows, cannot get enough of them. And so I have plans to make that into a pillow for her in the future. Then for my dad, for Father's Day, I stitched him this piece, Salt Lake Temple. And for my mother's, I believe that was 14 count 2 over 1. For my father's, it was definitely 14 count 2 over 1. This piece I struggled with a lot. I think the pattern wasn't either I wasn't cognizant or knowledgeable enough or advanced enough to read the pattern well, or the pattern wasn't written very well. It's in the old style where it was hand drafted, and so reading that was actually really difficult. Oh, especially because the designer then like somehow converted it into a digital pattern. So because it was download only, and I'd had that in my stash for a couple of years, and I finally stitched it up, but it was difficult. And I stitched it, as I said, using 2/1 DMC called for threads. And then at the bottom, I readjusted the pattern to say Salt Lake Temple, and then I put my parents' names in. And off the top of my head, because I don't have it in front of me, I can't remember if I put in their actual wedding date or their sealing date. So just so you know, I grew up LDS. I'm still LDS or Mormon, whatever you want to call it. And getting married in the temple is a big deal. Even to this day, though, some of people, like myself, are not able to get married in the temple at the date of your original marriage date. And so we say getting sealed in the temple. So you then go in after, whenever you're able to go to the temple, to make it to the temple, and you can be sealed for all time and eternity with your spouse and your family. And that's a really big deal for us. My parents don't celebrate their sealing date. They only celebrate their actual marriage date. My husband and I have plans to one day be able to go to the temple and be sealed for all time and eternity. It's in the works. My husband is a new member of the church. He's freaking amazing. And yeah, so one day we'll be there. And when we do, maybe it'll be in our new temple here in Anchorage, because we're getting a full-fledged temple here. We just drove by it last night, and it's looking amazing. So, you know, maybe we'll be able to get sealed in the Anchorage temple, and I will cross-stitch something like this for us. So I did that for my dad for Father's Day. Then also for Father's Day, I cross-stitched my husband the Star Trek TNG pattern off of Etsy. This was also 14 count, 2/1. And I don't think I made any mistakes on this one. And I also don't know if I have a finished picture of it. I know I have lots of pictures of it, works in progress, but this is currently down at my husband's office. It's hanging on one of his walls down there at work, and so he loves it. And my next plan is to crochet, cross stitch him a silly gnome, because it's been turned into a big joke. My husband doesn't like gnomes, or he doesn't like gnomes. I think he secretly does. And so for our wedding, I knit us up as gnomes for our cake topper, which we didn't have a cake, we had donuts. So we put it on top of the donuts. Then, because it was COVID during that time, and I did not want, like any cross-contamination of cutting cake, sharing, things like that. So I just figured donuts would be the safest bet. And plus I love donuts more than cake. And then things kind of just spiraled for my husband. People would send me gnomes through my sort of defunct, but not, it's still there, Between Knits and Pearls. I had friends that would send me hand knitted or crocheted gnomes, and they would just show up at our house all of a sudden. And then the ladies at his work started catching on, and so I don't know if they watched my shows or what, or how they figured it out, but so it became into a big joke that if anybody's out and about that he works with and they find a gnome, they purchase it and then put it in his cubicle. And he's just surrounded by them at this point. So my next goal is, I think I want to design it though, because I want to design a very specific, and I won't go into it, but a very specific type of gnome to cross stitch for my husband for Father's Day this year. But currently Star Trek TNG is at his office hanging on his cubicle, and he loves it. Then let's see. For one of my closest friends, I cross-stitched her a lighthouse, a miniature lighthouse, to go in her car as a hang down from her mirror kind of thing, because she loves lighthouses. I have no idea where that's at. I thought I gave it to her, but she says I didn't. So I have no idea where it's at. I don't even know if I have a picture of it. I didn't see it when I was searching. So yeah, it's great. Then for one of my coworkers, I cross-stitched him a little compass, which still needs to be fully finished. There's no reason why it hasn't been, outside of I avoid fully finishing. Because it's those fine little details in the fully finishes that I feel like can make or break your project. And I get too impatient with that process, and I cut corners, and you can't cut corners with this. So it's been difficult for me, but I've done that. And then I did, for my 2 exchanges, one was an ornament exchange and one was a smalls exchange. And these are the first exchanges I've ever done in the cross stitch community. And so the first one I did was Christmas cow, and I made it into a smalls pillow, and it's so adorable. So I sent that off. In exchange, I got one of those animal crackers by, I got Amy Stewart in my head, and that's Heaven and Earth, and that's not, so it's not who. I can't remember what her name is all of a sudden, but it's so cute. It's a little pin, and he's got a little hanging tag that's, I think, says circus, I believe. It's really random, and it's not really my style at all, but it's super adorable, so I'm not upset at all. Then for my ornament exchange, I sent off my finished sleigh with the Christmas tree on it that says 2025 and my initials on it, that I used as my sample for my cross stitch class that I did. And in exchange, I got this incredibly gorgeous hand beaded ornament that, again, I cannot find. I know I put it somewhere extra special and safe, in my head anyway, when I packed it. I thought I put it in with the Christmas stuff as we were packing. It's not there. If I find it before I post this video, I will insert a picture of it. It is my exchange partner was amazing. So it was just awesome. Then of the ones that I have on hand, I have this Christmas ornament out of year 2025, this year's Cross Stitch Magazine's Christmas special edition ornaments. And I messed up on this one in that I made this too long. So the snow under his feet is too long. These divots here are actually supposed to be under his feet there. Don't ask me what I was thinking. I don't know. But since I used the railroad method, in order to fix this, I would literally have to rip out all of this snow. When in my head, what's easier to do is actually just to design a teeny tiny little mouse to put right there in the little divot and call it good. So that's what I'm gonna do. And also, I noticed I'm missing a stitch right there. I think it's supposed to be one of the ornaments, the red ornaments. So I gotta put that in. So this is finished, but it's not finished. Likewise, Sobe Stitchery, she out of England. I believe she's out of England. I'm not really positive. She came out with 2 Louisa May Alcott quotes this year, and I love them both, so I have both patterns, and I have plans to stitch both. The first one, though, is, I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning to sail my ship. No, that's not right. I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship. And I love not only this quote, but the design she came up with and everything. I made a mistake in that I think I must have been working on it late at night or something, but I stitched up the anchor next to this pair of waves over here when it was supposed to be stitched up next to this pair of waves right here. So by light of day, I noticed that I had this huge empty space. So I designed this little this little helm with an anchor motif right in the middle. And I put that there. But now, as it's had time to sit and I'm looking at it, and I've been looking at it today, it feels still incomplete. And I know what it is. I know. I knew exactly this morning when I was looking at it, preparing for my show, I knew exactly what it was missing. A mermaid right here in this empty area right here. So I'm going to be designing a little mermaid silhouette to go right here. And who knows, maybe I'll send these over to Sobeys Stitchery in case she wants to include them in any of her future plans for that stitch, but I probably won't. It's just a design element from Emily. So, you know. Let's see, did I count them all? So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I didn't mention another stitch that I stitched up for another coworker, which I don't know that I'll ever give to her. Actually, no, I will, because she's going through cancer treatment right now. And I think she really needs it. I think this would be really good. I'm calling it the road less traveled. I have no idea what it would be called otherwise, but I stitched this up on the same piece of fabric, 14 count, that I was using for the compass for my other coworker. So I just got to finish those 2 things and then we'll be good. I know where they are, and in fact I might even show you them in person later today. They're just at the bottom of my whip pile down there in the realm of shame, if you will. So then, okay, I think that was it. I think I got it. Okay, so why don't we move on to my actual works in progress, and there are 25 of them. Okay, so this is going to be in no particular order. I did get out my mat. I've got a whole huge basket of whips right here, and we're just going to go from the top down. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is my actual Christmas Day cast on, and I made sure that I could actually do that because it didn't work out for me to have a Thanksgiving Day cast on, and Christmas was turning into this big chaotic thing, and I was just told my husband, I'm just gonna ignore everything right now and go to our room and start this project because I'm tired and I need some self-care time. So this is a kit that I got from 121 Stitch. This is the Christmas Train, or actually, what is it called? Yeah, it's called Christmas Train. And the designer, I don't know how to say her name. Furajay? But you can still get this kit on their website. I highly recommend their kits. It's pretty amazing. It is a stamped kit, and I'll show that in a minute, but it comes, every pattern comes in this beautiful protected envelope, and inside you've got your pattern, your actual pattern, and then of course the legend. And on the stamped piece, I really like how they do this. Now I will tell you that this is stitched on 16 count 2/1. The Aida fabric that is used here is very stiff, and because this is such a large project, it has been hurting my hands, but I've just been making it work. So I sometimes use things like these clamps and stuff. I've got a whole bunch of them. And so when I was working up here in this corner up here, I had another clamp, and I had it clamped right here so I could get to it easier without hurting my hands. I am, especially on stamped kits, stitch in hand primarily stitcher, and so I prefer that. The weight of even a Q-snap is sometimes too much for my arms, and so I really, really, really wanted a floor stand for Christmas, but I didn't get it. I got one Christmas present, and it was a very practical Christmas present, and I love my husband for getting it for me. I'm also disappointed that I wasn't listened to, so that's okay. That's okay. I got a gift card to get our dogs groomed. Now, I love to groom our dogs myself. I absolutely love it. My husband got me this gift card because he knows I've got so much on my plate, so he wanted to support me and take off one thing from my plate, because the clippers that I use, that I've been using for about 5 years now, from my Watson who passed away to now with these two dogs, it bit the dust and it died about 6 weeks ago, and I haven't gotten it replaced yet. And so he thought he was being very helpful in getting me this gift card to get our dogs groomed. The thing is that that's not what I wanted, and honestly it's not really what I needed. What I wanted and I feel I need is a floor stand, and would have been great, but but that's okay. He is not a stitcher. He does not know how to go about these things. Even with the link that I sent him of the exact thing I wanted, he was probably overwhelmed. So I'm now going to just save up the money myself and get it for myself. Okay, I figure probably by February, maybe March, I'll be able to afford it. So, but that's going to be the only thing that I really purchase besides from floss. And if I need fabric, but I have a feeling I won't need fabric at all. So I'm going to be doing a no buy, which is going to be really hard for me, especially on patterns. It's just going to be really hard for me. I love buying patterns, love it. So anyway, but this is the Christmas train, the stamped kit. It's very big. It's on 16 count. And I started right here, and then I worked my way all the way up and color completed, because I love color completion. Love it. I love color completion. So I worked my way all the way up here on that color. And then I still had, on the thread that I was working on, I still had enough thread to come down here and work on some of that down here. So then I didn't completely color complete this symbol in this chart, because I told myself not to do that. So I came back over here and I started in a second color, and that's what I'm working on now over in this area. So there's some really there's some really subtle shading going on, especially in the blue section. So there is, I believe there's 70 DMC colors used in this kit, and I am going to term it as a full coverage, almost like a heaven and earth design. This is pretty intense, but I love it. I'm having so much fun with it. On Sunday, I stayed home from church. My body hurt so much. And I was sitting in bed stitching on this, and the needle, I stabbed the needle up and it went straight into my thumb, and I got blood. Oh, but luckily I didn't get any on here. So that's good. So I have plans to just be working on this throughout the year, and we'll see how far I get. Maybe I'll even get it done for next Christmas. I don't know. But I have this being housed in one of my knitting project bags, and this project bag is very special to me because it was sewn and given to me by my knitting bestie Stephanie, or oh wait, what is she called now? I always want to call her old handle of Hot Pink Socks. Farmstead Knits? No, I can't remember. But Stephanie, I love you, and I use my waxed canvas bag that you gave me all the time. All the time. I love it. She gave that to me a couple years ago for my birthday. Yeah. Okay, so my next stitch is one that I cast on or started the beginning of December. I don't have an exact date, but this is Santa's Village by Soda Stitches on, no. Is it Soda? It's just SODA on Etsy. I love this designer. I love everything she does. Even her, wait, does she have Halloween stuff? Hold on. Pause, or as they say, bear with. Let's go to Etsy right now. Soda Stitches. Soda Stitch Designs. Okay. Oh, okay. So, oh my gosh, look at this one. And I just told myself I couldn't buy it. Oh my gosh, look at all these. I want this one now. She's got a sale going on. It's only $3.60. Oh, I just want everything she does. But okay, so I have to go back because I thought she had some Halloween ones. Oh my gosh, guys, hold it. Hold the phone. I did not know she had gnomes. Maybe I'll do that for my husband instead of designing it. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. I mean, look at her birds. Look at the birds. Like, everything she does is just so dainty and cute. I could have sworn she had Halloween stuff. She got her fairy tale series, which I want to do everything on. Yeah, see, even things like this, which I do not like at all. I don't understand the draw for cross stitching these heels and stuff. Like, there's at least one on the Heaven and Earth website, and then I think Mirabilia did some or something like that. I don't know. It's just, there we go, Halloween. So even her Halloween stuff is just adorable. Oh my gosh, look at this one. This is called Fall Four Seasons House Town. God, I just want to cross stitch everything. Everything she does. They do. Whoever does it. So it is called Soda Stitch Design on Etsy. Going back to my Whip Progress. So this is called Santa Town. And this is stitched on 25 count Lugana, 2/2. Originally it was stitched 1/1, but it's so dark in our condo that I could not see the 1/1 at all. That's one of the reasons I haven't stitched linen, is I couldn't see. So I would have my craft light that I have overhead. Then I would have I had a whole setup. I had a neck light on. I had all the lights in the house on. I had my craft stitch, cross stitch light going over, and sometimes I would even have a special clamp-on light that I clamped onto our bookshelf that I could then spotlight and hang over me, light on, and I still struggle to see because it's so freaking dark. Just in Alaska, period, in the wintertime. I mean, we're having a great day today, but it is 1 o'clock and the sun will set in about an hour or so. Just saying. So I switched it because I was having too much trouble with that. So I turned the fabric around, started over, and here's where we're at doing 2/2. Now on this one, I am not using any of the called for. I don't even think the white is the called for in the pattern. I just have a whole bunch of rings of floss out and sitting by my stitching station all the time, and I would just pick up my floss ring there and I would just pick the color that I wanted. So this is B52, the white, and then the gray, I have no idea. The red is not the red called for. I just picked whatever red I had on hand. And I do believe that all the houses in this piece are supposed to be red, but I didn't want that, so I did the first house red. Then I'm doing the tall house in blue. And then I think this third house is going to be in a pink. I'm not really sure. It could be a yellow. I haven't decided yet. Pink or yellow, though, I'm pretty sure. So that's how I'm going to finish it. And then I'm just going to finish it in a nice little hoop and put it on my wall. By the way, don't ask me why there are 2 needles in this project, because I literally have no idea. I only noticed that today when I was starting to prepare for this episode. So, also though, on the Santa's face here, I am going to go for a darker skin tone, as I don't know, that's what I'm hankering. And I feel like it would be really beautiful. And I think that would be wonderful to do. I'm not sure what DMC I will use, but it's probably just going to be as the mood strikes me. Wouldn't it be funny if instead of a darker tone, I just decided to do green, like the Wizard of Oz green? Which, by the way, holy cow, that is gangbusters. I haven't even seen the first movie, and everybody's going gangbusters over the second movie. My goodness. Okay. My next work in progress, again, these are all random. It's just housed in one of these bags that I got off of Etsy, but it doesn't have the seller's name anywhere on it that I can see. But here's what it looks like on the inside. It's just a simple project bag for cross stitch. And if my memory is right, it was very affordable, but she did quilt it. I like it. Housed in here is a dimensions kit that I believe I got at Walmart. I'm pretty sure I did. But it says never stop believing? No, never stop looking up. And I love this piece. And I want to stitch it so bad. And I want the finished piece so bad. Problem is that this Ada again, maybe it's just because of where I was at in our house. The blue is just so dark. Oh, this is the right way. I just could not stitch on it well. Oh, wait, hold on. You guys need to have it like this. So I just couldn't stitch on it very well. So I started in the center. This is stitch 2/1 on 14 count, blue Aida, nondescript, and I just couldn't see it. And so now that I'm in this house, I might give it another try. Oh, by the way, that was upside down too. This is the right way up. So the branches go upwards, not downwards. But I did start in the middle, about on this tree right here. And I don't know if I will continue with this fabric, or I've got a lighter blue that I might use that I hand dyed myself. It's in one of my other projects, and I know I've got extra of that left over. I believe that's an 18 count, so it would be even smaller of a stitch, but I'm not, that won't upset me. Like if it's, so see, this is now my thread. This is now my thread. But if it's so small that I could hang it from my rearview mirror in my car, how would I be upset about that? It wouldn't be, but still. So that's 3 projects down. Let's keep going. All right, so I tend to put my projects in whatever bags I've got. And this is a portfolio thing that I think somebody gave me when I got into my office or something. I don't know. Somebody gave it to me, but anyway, this is a cute pattern also by Dimensions. It's a kit that I started for my mother. And it's going to be either a Mother's Day gift or an anniversary gift for my parents. I haven't decided for this year, but this is called the grandchildren. No, happiness is having grandchildren. No, happiness is having grandchildren to love. It's the family tree. And I have exactly the number of, between my son and my nieces and nephews, to fill up this tree completely. And I think my family is pretty much done with having kiddos, so I won't have to worry about having to add any on. But you know what? Maybe I will one day. But this is a vintage kit from, I wonder if I got a 1995. So it's a vintage kit. And I learned something interesting. Anything, I think they said anything before 2005 at this point is vintage. Isn't that crazy? I guess the marker is 20 years or older. Did not know that. So I'm more than vintage myself. Ugh. Anyway, so all I've completed is the wording at the bottom. And I paused there because I was trying to figure out if, because this is a stamped kit, and I was trying to figure out if I did the cross stitching first or how I was going to do it with the back stitching so that I can have all these beautifulness going. I think I'm just going to go for it though. I'm going to freehand the back stitch if I need to, but also I believe, let's look at the pattern. Oh yeah, the back stitch is on the pattern too, so I'm good. I'm good. It's a pretty simple piece. This is an interesting one because it is stamped on canvas, not even Aida, not even, oh, sailcloth. Sorry, sailcloth. So not even weave or linen, nothing. So this is sailcloth, but I'm excited about it. And if you're wondering what this is on my hoop, so it's housing all of the extra, oops, see, there it is, all the extra pattern back there, but also to keep it clean. This is literally one of those little sleeves that you can get super cheap on Amazon that actually goes over the armrest of your office chair. So again, I've got like 3 sets of these and I have no idea where they came from. I know I didn't buy them, but they just so happen to fit pretty darn awesomely on this Nerge hoop to make sure it's the tricky part is starting to get it on, right? So once I get it started, I can get it back on, but there we go. But that's just keeping, and I just wanted to do that on this one because It is a sailcloth. I don't know how it will react with dirt or anything, and so I just wanted to keep it extra safe. So that's being housed in there. So this is my pattern for my parents, and okay, hold on. Let's get you figured out here, Emily. All of my floss that came with the kit was really tangled and quite the mess. So I took an entire day to untangle everything. I made my own floss drops, and on the back I have the dark blue red number 13072, just what was on the legend of the pattern. And then we've got dark red. So there's a lot of different shades. So there's light green, right? Light yellow green, I should say. Then we've got yellow green. Then we've got green. And then we've got dark green. And then it just goes like that. So there's a lot of shading in this one, but no DMC color numbers on any of them. So I have no idea what they are. So I wanted to be very careful about my documentation of those flosses. I think I did a pretty good job. So there's that. I did use 1/1, oh, not 1/1. I just used one strand for the outline of the wording, and I don't know if I will be, I'm going to use 2 strands for the crosses. But as far as the rest of the piece, as far as the back stitching stuff, I honestly, personally prefer on most pieces to have 2 strands instead of the one, do the back stitch, because I oftentimes feel like one strand is not bold enough to make a difference with the back stitch. But I'm just going to experiment on this one and see what looks the best. Okay, my next piece, I didn't put a tag on this. Wonder why I didn't put a tag on this. Is this my one of shame? Ah, yes it is. So this is a Paw Patrol. Doesn't that look creepy? This is going to be Rocky. This is on 14 count Aida 2/1. And I started stitching this for my son, Jimmy. He loves Paw Patrol. And so I was gonna stitch him the entire series of the Paw Patrol characters to have up on his wall. And I started with Rocky because traditionally Rocky has been his favorite. He loves dump trucks, absolutely loves dump trucks. And then I just pulled all the DMC colors and have them in here for a random, what is this one? Why is this in here? This is DMC 312. Oh, I remember it just, I thought this was interesting because this DMC 312 Michaels, it came pre-bobbinated like this, and it's just 2 strands rather than the normal 6. So I kind of thought that would be interesting to try out, but I haven't yet. It's just in here for when I get to that point. Got these random, uh-oh, I don't want to ruin my bag. There's scissors in here. I do. Okay, hold on. Let's trim this off so that I don't get things yucky. Okay. Where do I put this? Okay. Next is one of my ultimate favorites. So this is the Inconceivable Sampler. Let me look at my notes because I can never seem to remember who designed this. Tess Campbell, and that's CAMPBELL on Etsy. And I've had quite a few people go and purchase this pattern and start stitching on it since they've seen this. If you guys want to do a stitch along with this, I would be more than happy. I think she deserves some love. She's only got like 2 patterns out on her Etsy shop, but this is obviously my favorite. So let's move my thread down so you can see. So it's all these different quotes and images or silhouettes from The Princess Bride, which is one of my all-time favorite shows. And this is stitched on a Fat Fourth 18 count Celadon by Zweigart. And I am doing this 1/1. I had started on the border up here doing 2/2 and I absolutely hated it. So actually the border before all this actually came all the way down here, and I have unpicked all of this to there, and then I got frustrated and stopped unpicking. So I just kind of figured I'd unpick as I go, but I started there. And I am kind of contemplating if I am going to do all of this, if I want to outline all the squares and then come back and fill in or what. But the floss I am using on this is an overdyed floss from a company that I fully intend to purchase more from because it's amazing. That was an interesting sound. So this is from Stitchy Stuff, hand dyed. I've got 50 yards on each skein. What I like about her website is she's got small skeins, like the normal size skeins of floss, and then she's got the bigger ones like this. So it was actually more economical for me to buy for this big project, the bigger skeins, than it was the smaller one. And the main color is on my project is called Rose Petals. And then the alternative color, where'd it go? This one is called Elven Wine. I love these two. Isn't that beautiful? So here's how it is. And then this is like on the Celadon. I don't know, I just absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. Can't wait to get back to this year. And I'm actually not really minding. You know how they say it's kind of user's preference if you're going to do 2 threads over 1 on 18 count or what? I don't like the 2 threads over 1. But also 1 thread over 1 is oftentimes a little bit too light, but I feel like it still works well on this. I'm not feeling upset by the coverage at all. I actually really like it. All right. It's very dry up here. My throat is really hurting, and we've only done like 5 pieces. So I'm gonna take a break really quick and refill my water and come back, okay? Okay, moving on. So this next piece is a kit by, is it Arbus? Yes, Arbus Art. This is Thirst for Adventure. It's a full coverage piece. It came with everything I need. You might not think this is an actual start. I am counting it as such because I took their, wait, what is this stitch on, 14 count? Yes, 14 count Ada, and I spent an entire day gridding this up. And I never did 1 stitch on it. So what I'm gonna do now, instead, I've decided not to use this fabric because I don't feel like there's enough excess fabric on this piece. This is pretty much all the excess because I went right to the edge over here. This is all the excess I have on this fabric to then utilize for framing. And I didn't like that. So what I decided to do, I was curious. My sweet spot for 2/2 is 16 count. I love 16 count. And then I usually like to skip 18 count and go straight to 20 count for 1/1. Well, I was curious to know if there was some easy count or easy grid 16 count Ada. And I found some online, so I've got it coming. And I'm actually going to start this piece on that easy count and make sure that I have enough margins for either, I know I'm going to frame it. I just want to have enough margins left for lacing in the back. So my goal is to have about 2 to 3 inches on each side in order to do a good job of lacing on this. So this is going to be a focus in 2026. Did I put it on my whip? I don't know. We'll see you on my next episode. But I've got all the flosses back here. I am all ready to go except for the fabric that should be here tomorrow, actually. Okay, so here's one of my fun projects that just got called for January Whip Go, so I'm excited about that. Wait, is this one? No, this one did not get called for Whip Go. But this is one of my stamped kits from Temu, and this is for my son Jimmy. I'm calling him Dinosaur Monster Truck. And Jimmy loves dinosaurs, he loves monsters, he loves monster trucks. So I am stitching this for him. And it looks like I haven't gotten very far until you turn it over and you see this is actually all that I've done. See, that's the key to stamped kits. Don't look at the front part where all of the stamp is, or you'll feel distressed and feel like you haven't gotten very far. If you look on the back, where all the waist yarn is and everything, you'll see you've actually done quite a lot, right? Quite impressed with myself. This is on 11 count, so I'm using 3 strands over 1. I've got plenty of the background blue. This is blue, this is not black. This is 939. Oh, that's a good color because 939 is also being used as a good background for my Christmas train as well. So that just is a good color for a dark blue background where you don't want to go black. I like that. Oh, things are falling under the couch. Okay, so this actually has been called, this is holding 2 projects in here at least. This is my Santa Bear stamped kit that I am stitching on. I was stitching on it for this Christmas, but I'm just going to keep stitching on it throughout the year. I mean, I think I might be a seasonal stitcher, but I'm also not because I really just don't care. I'm going to stitch Christmas whenever I want, and if I want to stitch it throughout the entire year, that's what it's going to do. So here's where I'm at. All the black is the background that I've stitched. I've done quite a lot of the browns, getting into the finer details now. So here's what it looks like to see what I've actually done. This is on 14 count Aida. I'm stitching 2 over 1 with all the called fors or the kitted threads. I love it. So you can see the snout of the bear there starting to come in. Here's Santa's face. Here's the pack or the saddle blanket. 1 leg, 2 legs, and then him just running through the forest. So yeah, it's great. So gonna be working on that. This actually got called for Whip Go for January, so I'm gonna be stitching on that through January. The other thing that is in here is a kit that I got from Michaels that is a disgrace. I didn't make it a disgrace, they did. It's by Loops and Threads, and it is the Gingerbread Forest cross stitch. I don't think I've got nope, I do not have a color image of it, so I will just show you that. I love gingerbread houses. I love houses. What I don't love is when you get polyester thread, not even a smidge of cotton in there. I hate this thread so much. So I was stitching on this. I was trying to power through and getting the snow done and started up here. I can't do it. I can't do it. The polyester thread feels so disgusting to stitch with. I just can't force myself to do it anymore. I do want this project though, so I'm just gonna reconfigure it. I'm gonna pull the threads from my stash, from my DMC stash, and I'm just gonna start over. And it's gonna be fine. Probably gonna throw away this fabric because this is 14 count, but it's, can you hear it? It's rough. Like this is not, you know, they talk about stiff Aida. No, this is rough Aida. Like it hurts to stitch on. So I have that all in here, and I purposely put it in here, not on its own project bag, but in with my stamped Santa Bear project, because I don't want to forget that I need to fix this project. I want to have the reminder. So hopefully I'll get that fixed in January. Oh, this piece is so cute. Okay, so this I believe is called Lavender Season by Happy Mood Point or HMP on Etsy. They're quite a popular shop. I think it's a guy who does all the designings. The image of their face and stuff on there is of a guy. But I am choosing pretty much all my own colors. I'm not using really any of the called for in the pattern, just because I wanted the dress to be pink, and the lavender, I wanted it to be two-toned, so I just picked 2 different tones from my stash. This is on a Michaels by a 14 count Ada. That one that kind of has a little bit of a gradient to it. I don't know if you can see that in it. I would say I'm about halfway done. I still need to do the basket here and the basket that she's holding, and obviously I need to do her face. But yeah, I'm going pretty good. Oh, I need to do the stems. Yeah. But I am not afeared at all. I think I have all the colors that I want for DMC wise in here. So I'm just going to continue on with this one. This is in another of the I'm assuming it's the same lady or sewist or seller on Etsy that did my other bag that I don't know the name of. I could go back into my or my order history and find out, but will I? I doubt it. Okay, so this one here, this is the second HMP Happy Mood Point pattern in a row for you. You can tell that I like their style, but this pattern is called Christmas on the Doorstep, and I'm stitching this on 20 count 1/1. I think this is a Zweigart, but this could be French Country Mocha. I'm not really sure. It kind of looks like it. Not that I would know, right? I'm like, pretending like I'm smart. But look, right in the crease there. Look at those lanterns. I love those lanterns. I love this. The border is different on each side. I love that. The holly berries, the ivy. No, not ivy. Is it just holly leaves over here? That's the Christmas one. And then the evergreen boughs with the lanterns hanging down. I love it. And I have just started outlining the house. I might change the color of the house. It looks in the pattern like it's supposed to be blue, but the DMC that I pulled based off of the pattern, it's kind of like a grungy green gray. And I'm not liking that on here. So I've just got the first, I started stitching the outline of the house because I was going to do outline and then fill in, but I'm not really liking this color. So I don't know, I might do a pink one, a pink house. I don't know, I just love pink with Christmas. It's very vintage, or I guess at this point, would it be antique? I don't know. But I've got all the called for on here and this right here. So let's see here. Oh, my needle minder got stuck to my ring. So this right here is the called for the house, and it is number 646, and I'm just not feeling it. But I think, ooh, look at that pink right there. Anyway, I'll figure it out, but I'm going to change up the colors of the house in this one. I'm not afraid of doing that. As you can tell, if I don't like a color, I'm just gonna fix it. I'm just gonna change it. That's just how I roll, you know? Okay. My next one here is another stamped kit. This one was my birthday start for this year. So I turned 44, and so I am 44. And I decided, took a poll on Instagram. I had quite a few options for people to choose from in order for me to start. This apple orchard, or that's what I'm calling it, on 11 count is what everybody chose to do. I did change the color of the house to be a pink. Wow. Do I have a style or a preference or what? But I think that's the only thing that I have changed in this pattern, I believe. What did I just lose? Oh, one of the threads. Gotta get you back in there, buddy. Okay, so here's what it looks like from the stamped side. I've done quite a lot. You wouldn't know that by looking at it until we do this. And now you can see I did the entire house. I did all of, let's see, I did all the fence line. I did all kinds of things down here. I don't know if these are branches or leaves and stuff, but they're speckled throughout the entire thing. I've done all of that. As you can tell, again, I love my color completion. You can't even tell on the back here, but all of the main house color is stitched, and most of the windows are stitched on there. On this side, again, this is what it looks like. So you can see the main house is stitched, the fence line is all stitched. You have no idea what's stitched down here, but I can feel the little bumps. But I haven't touched the roof line, I believe, at all, except for the outline of the window here. I haven't touched the roof line at all. But yeah, another full coverage, pretty darn easy, especially since it's 3/3. Oh, I remember why I got frustrated and stopped. I actually it was leaning against my cup, and my cup was sweating. So we had some bleedage and some of the stamp. And so I have to figure out, and that was really confetti heavy over in this corner. So I've got to figure out, based off of the pattern, what's all over there. But I think I just got frustrated with myself and put it away. So again, that is Apple Orchard, or what I'm calling Apple Orchard. I have a whole series of these, of the Apple Orchard in different stages of the year that eventually I will probably do, but I'm not really sure. I'm kind of leaning away from doing 11 count, and all of my series is in 11 count. So I don't know. We shall see how things play out. Okay, so this right here is my bag full of things that I have started from the Jingle Bell Ball 2025. It's not gotten very far at all. So be prepared to be unimpressed. So from Hello from Liz Matthews, the Snow Globe class, on 22 count, I started stitching one of the houses, and my thought process was I wanted to see if I could make a snow globe in one of those regular size canning jars. And so I went with 22 count just to see what would come of it. And that, where are you? That is what I've gotten to so far. I've actually really enjoyed stitching on this. It's been really lovely. I really love stitching on 22 count. 1/1. Ugh. And yes, this is stiff Aida, but I don't know why people give Aida such a bad rap for being so stiff. Yes, it's stiff, but you know, you want to loosen it up, just loosen up the fibers, soak it, and then, you know, scrunch it in the water while it's soaking so it loosens the fibers, for heaven's sakes. Or if you can't do that because it's a stamped kit, just take the stamped kit and wad it up into a big ball and so it loosens up the fibers. That's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. I've got the thread for 2 projects in here, I think. I've got all the finishing for the Hello from Liz Matthews in here. The foam, the pattern, yeah, the tacky glue that I will need. Oh my gosh, I need to go and watch that video before it expires because I still haven't watched the lesson from this. And then the Christmas wreath. Who did the Christmas wreath? Oh my gosh, I've lost it. It's so beautiful, but I started on the called for fabric that came in the kit. I started the acorn. You want to see my little pitiful start? 3 stitches. 3 stitches. That's it. but I'm counting it. I plan on stitching on both of these throughout the year, and I wanted to keep them together because they were both Jingle Bell Ball. So, and it's on, this is on one of my favorite Nerge hoops. I love this style Nerge hoop where it has the little thing. The tension on this is just tight as a drum. It's so lovely. So if I'm not stitching in hand, I prefer to use the Nerge hoops of that style. I don't like the twisty ones. I've got so many of the twisty at the top to get the tension ones, and I just don't like them. I've never liked them in my entire life. So I kind of just assumed I would never like hoops. But these Nerge hoops that have the clamp thing, oh, that's a game changer for me. To be honest with you, the twisty tension knob ones is probably the reason why I started switching to stitching in hand, because I just didn't like it. And I don't really like Q-snaps either. I haven't really worked too much with Q-snaps, but they're lightweight, but they're super bulky. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, yeah. All right, my next project, oh, she's so beautiful, is Spring Fairy in the Dimensions Gold collection. I love this piece. It's a very intense full coverage piece, and I did start this one, but I am again rethinking it to go on part of that 16 count easy grid fabric that I ordered that should be here tomorrow. Because first off, there's no need for it to be in the fabric to be this blue, because it's just full coverage. There's no background is ever showing through. And because this is a gold collection, it is really intense, and I just feel like I would feel more confident if I did the easy grid. Now this is currently being worked on 14 count, and that's all I've got done. And I'm glad of that, because I'm gonna repurpose this fabric and then start this on here. Is that what, was this the called for fabric? This finish size is 14 inches by 12 inches. That's pretty big. That's like one of Heaven and Earth's smalls, or quick stitches as they would call it, or maybe even bigger than a quick stitch on Heaven and Earth. If you watch my next video, you will know why I know these things about Heaven and Earth. Just saying. So I have this on a Nerge hoop of the old style, but even these ones where they've got the protective coating up here on that, it still hurts my hand to do. The tension is not what I would like. So yeah, I'm gonna see how much, if I got enough fabric in that order to be able to do both of these projects, both the Arbus and this Dimensions Gold on that. If not, I will just hurry up, because tomorrow is the 31st and I'm doing a no buy 2026. So if I need to, I'm gonna hurry up and order more fabric so that I have it. So the only way I'm buying anything in 2026 is if I open my needle workshop. And then it's gonna be for my needle workshop, not for me. Okay, next, in this beautiful little pouch that I find is honestly a little too small, but I do want to learn how to make these. Oh, isn't that just so cute? That lace on there, on the zipper. And inside I've got a little needle keeper to match. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh, I just love it. Inside here is a free pattern by Crochet A Go-Go. It's just called, the pattern is just Winter. So if you go on Crochet A Go-Go's website and look for Winter, I actually have two pieces on here. What's this other piece? I think this was another free piece. Here is the little teeny tiny one from Crochet A Go-Go. Again, Emily has changed the colors of the DMCs for a lot of it. I've changed the house. I believe I changed the garden gate. I don't think I changed anything in the trees. I think I switched to B52. I don't think B52 was called for the snow, but I think I switched to that. And then look over here. I started another piece over here. So actually I have 26 pieces going. So let me pause for a minute because I know what this is. Okay, I found it. This is a free pattern by Teresa Kogut, and this is called Home for Christmas. Yep, Home for Christmas. I can't remember if this was a free based off of her Patreon or if it was just free on her website, but I really liked it. I liked how the smoke coming out of the chimney looks like a heart. So I started that one on here, and I remembered what I thought would also look really good on this fabric was the Never Stop Looking Up piece. So I might combine that because I think I have enough space over here to do that one. This is on 18 count, and I've been doing 2/1. I'll continue that on these guys, I believe, but I might switch to doing 1/1 for the Never Stop Looking Up piece over here. We'll see. But I've got plenty of fabric for all of them. They're all really small. Like, I think this one just maybe goes up to here. And I know the Teresa Kogut one is about the same size as this one, the Crochet Go-Go. So I have plenty of fabric on here that I hand dyed to have all 3 pieces, maybe even 4 pieces on. And I don't have the floss in here. I just have a bunch of DMC rings with floss cards, floss drops that I have out by my stitching station, and I've just been picking the color that I want from those floss drops rather than going according to what the pattern says. So there you go. Okay, here's a frustrating piece, but one that I love and I'm determined to complete. And this one I believe would be considered vintage as well. This one here is a pattern by Jane Stickles. You can get the kit off of Etsy. This is called Quilt Sampler. Let's see if I have a picture in here. I did try to take a picture of this. No, it's okay, here it is. I did try to take a picture. No, I did try to import this through taking pictures into my Markup XP, but the pattern, it's like the pattern I got is a copy of a copy of a copy. It wasn't hand drawn. I know this was done on the internet, but you can tell. See, I'm even going to show you this tiny little area right here. Do you see how the grids are fading from the grid lines here? It's like she has copied her own pattern over her own, she's made a copy of the original and then from that made additional copies from the copy of the original. So every time she copied it, the fadings got worse and worse until Emily gets it, and it's just a mess. It's hard to read a lot of these emblems because some of them are only half there. So I'm trying to figure it out, but I got super frustrated with it, so I stopped working on it for a while. I'll pick it up in the new year, but this is where I am at currently with this piece. My goal with this piece before I started it was that this would be like a flag a day kind of a thing. So my daily stitch, because I love it. But it is so frustrating to read that pattern, which I didn't know was going to be frustrating, that I stopped. So I'm on my 3rd flag right here. I've done the corner. I've done most of the outline. No, I've done all the outline over here. So I just keep going. And this is a quilt that was stitched in Civil War, during the Civil War, and it is in the Civil War Museum, which I don't know where that's at. Maybe in Pennsylvania or something. Let's see here. Our version of a Jane A. Stickles 1863 Civil War era quilt. It would look great framed as shown or as a pillow top. Original quilt is in the Bennington, Vermont Museum. Oh, designs by Linda Myers. Oh. Servant's Hearts Designs. Okay. So So that's what you need to know. There you go. Civil War blocks. Yep. Servants' Hearts Designs. And I would still recommend this. I like it. But just, user beware that you are going to have some difficult times ahead just reading the pattern. But one thing I really like is that all of the kit came complete with all of the floss threads on these bookmark type things. And so I don't have to pull anything, I don't have to think, and I don't intend to change any of the colors in this because I just wanted to stay true. I don't know, sometimes I want to stay true and sometimes I just want to go my own way, you know? Sorry, these bags are not, these bags are not even really big enough for an 8.5 by 11 printed paper. Like, I feel like if you're going to make project bags, at least have the project bag be big enough to hold an 8.5 by 11 unfolded, so flat piece of paper. So if I ever get down and start stitching again, that's what I'm going to be doing because I'm getting frustrated. All right, here's my other Louisa May Alcott. Now, I first started these pieces on this, what is being termed as Lugana. I think that this is either not a true Lugana or this is a special kind of Lugana for a different craft form, which I can't remember the name of. But it's the one where you need to have it longer going. It's not rug hooking. Is it tapestry? I'm not really sure. Where you need to have the squares longer one way or wider one way than the other. Because this just did not work. My stitches looked elongated and strange. This is a Zweigart Lugana 20 count antique rose. So I don't know. I love this color. This is like my perfect color. And I had it all in my head that it would be this pink, the dark blue, and then the gold. That was just gonna be gorgeous. But it wasn't working out. So I started over on the piece that I hand dyed. The colorways that I am using are DMC 976 for the gold and 3750 for the dark blue. You know what would be really good is the 946 that I just saw was using as the background for my dino monster truck. That would be really good. But here is the piece I cut from what I hand dyed to do this one on. The next quote, which I have not started, but it is in my, I believe it's in here. Let's see. I thought I had it already preloaded into Markup XP, so let's take a look. Okay, so if we, yes. So the next piece is, hold on, bear with, picture. Nothing is impossible to a determined woman, Louisa May Alcott. So I believe what my thought process is that I was going to do this one the opposite, where the writing would be in gold and everything else would be in blue. I don't know. I'll think about it. I think a dark blue bird or a gold bird would be beautiful. I like it though. I like it a lot. Anyway, so that's gonna be my next piece. And I remember when I stitched the first one, even with the mistake, I literally had it done in a weekend. But then again, I was super focused that weekend. Okay, so this is the 2021 October Cotton and Twine box kit. I got these kits completely full of the original stuff, including the original chocolate, which was all expired and got thrown out. But I started this. I love it. And Comes with all of the floss, comes with the fabric, which I believe they've got a thing for Zweigart. So hold on, let's get it in the right area so you can see it correctly. And then my needle minder's in the way. My needle's in the way, so let's try and move everything out of the way. There we go, maybe. Let's try and move the thread, there we go. So this is as far as I got on this piece. It's gonna be so pretty when it's done. And again, I don't mind stitching on this year round. To me, I don't know why this wouldn't be a year-round stitching piece for me. I don't know. It's so pretty. I think the only reason I stopped stitching on this, I don't know if I got distracted by other projects or I don't know why I stopped stitching on this, because I want to stitch on it right now. Ugh. And the pattern is super easy to read, like amazing. Now I will tell you that I have purchased the monthly cotton and twine box, and I'm going to continue that through 2026. I made the subscription in October. I did not get my November kit until literally last week, the week of Christmas. And it's only because of shipping and customs. So I don't know if it's like this for the lower 48, but getting it from the UK. But I'm probably going to count on being at least a month to a month and a half behind the rest of the world in getting my monthly kit from them. I don't know, maybe everything will be fine and it will all catch up in the end. I don't know. But I mean, it's not like I'm hurting for projects. This is a total indulgence. So like, I'm fine. When it gets here, it gets here. And I'm not one of those people who cares about spoiler alerts either. So I'll watch everybody else's floss tubes and get the spoiler alerts. I'll be totally fine with that. Like, I believe December's is some kind of kite or something. No, sorry, not kite. That's my next project. Deer in winter or something like that. I can't remember. Speaking of kites though, so this was a free kit in the, it's called Sweet Kite Flying Hoop Kit. And this is from the World of Cross Stitching. This was one of their free kits in one of their magazines. You know how they do a free kit every magazine? So this one I got, it was sometime in the summer, but I know I started it the first day of Jimmy going to school. And this is as far as I got on this. This is going to technically be a pretty fast stitch once I start really working on it. So it just reminded me of me and him, you know, I just really liked it. Now I just got to work on it. Came with all of the flosses in there. The pattern is ridiculously tiny. I might see if I can't blow this up on my printer. Oh, we're getting towards the bottom. Here we go. All right, so this bag is by PT Bags. I've got two of her bags too. And these are the only ones, so I've got 6 total of actual cross stitch project bags. That's it. Everything else is hodgepodge or stolen from my knitting project bags. So Awesome Pattern Studio, I am now officially approved as a wholesaler with them, or something like that. It just means that I can buy my kits from them to sell in my shop when I'm finally ready. I love Awesome Pattern Studio, love them. So I started Rio de Janeiro for my brother Eli. This was supposed to be a birthday present for him. His birthday is December 23rd. It's December 30th. And this is what I have done. Now this was a restart, mind you. So this is what I have done. I'm back to a tiny bit beyond what I was before I had to restart. This is a knockoff Nurge hoop. Don't get them. Make sure and only get the Nurge hoops, because look at this. It's so flimsy and floppy. It's ridiculous. I cannot keep the tension on this. So I'm going to be changing this to an actual Nurge hoop. but the colors in this are astounding and so beautiful. I love it so much. All right, I better check the time. Okay. Gonna have to be going soon because after about 5 months of not being able to get my nails done because I've just been too sick and too busy, I know, first class problems, I finally have the capacity to go and get my nails done. Now for me, getting my nails done is self-care, and it's not just about looking pretty. It's honestly about the fact that my ADHD is so bad that I will bite my nails into oblivion if I do not have fake nails on. And these hurt. So my old friend Jade, who's been doing my nails for like a decade, she's going to figure out what we can do today. And I might come home with fake nails on, or I might come home with just a manicure, and we've got a plan for growing them out. So, I mean, look at this one. Can you see it? It's so bad. But so for me, having fake nails is needed. So just so you know. Okay. This is the project bag that I've been keeping most of the cross-stitch things in to do for my co-workers. I've got Ziploc bags within Ziploc bags of, I have pulled all the threads for things. So like this one says Corey, compass. This one says Cali, road, you know, and so on and so forth. But in here, oh no, is this the only thing I've, oh, phew. Okay, so here's the finished compass piece for Corey that I just need to frame. And here's the finished road that I just need to frame. I'm gonna keep those out and actually get them done and to the people that they belong to. This, as far as works in progress, I have restarted this Happy Little Trees, Bob Ross? I lost his name all of a sudden. I have restarted this silhouette or sepia toned image of Bob Ross so many times. And I don't know if I need to just trust the process and get through a couple colors before I decide that it doesn't work. But every time I've restarted is just horrendous. I cannot, like even on this one, I cannot read my stitches very well. And then I messed up majorly and had to rip out a whole bunch. So now things are looking weird right here. I don't know. But I wanted to get this one done for Liz and get that over to her. Okay, we're down to our last two, my friends. Come on, you can get out. Okay. So this first one here, I forgot the name of this pattern. Let me see, hold on. Bear with. Okay. If I find the pattern for this and the name of it, I'll put it on the screen for you. I know I got this off of Etsy. I don't know where it is in my files. I don't even know the name to even start looking for it within my file system. But I got this 28 count Lugana, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be interesting to try stitching 1/1, this same pattern here, and then coming up here and stitching 2/2, and just so you can see the differences in the sizes. Wouldn't that be interesting? Then I could maybe either make this, like this would be a perfect size to hang from my rear view mirror. So all these little splotches right here, I believe if my memory serves, this is supposed to be like a rose trellis or something. So I just need to finish this one up. I was having a really fun time with it, but then it just got too, was I doing full cross? Yeah, I did full cross. For some odd reason, some of it looks like it's tent stitch on the house, but it's full cross for sure. 28 count 1/1. What is that, like equivalent to 56 count linen? I did that. Okay, my last piece is my one embroidery piece that I did not remember starting or doing at all. It is a kit. It's pre-stamped, and then you just do all the different stitches. And this is so adorable. I want to keep going on it. So the kit here that I found in this, again, I don't even know where this bag came from. And look, there's a loose thread, so better get you back in there. Let me just see what's going on here. Is there a bunch of kits in here? Hold on. Let's pull this out. Okay, so here's the finished piece. It's gonna look like, yeah, there's a bunch of kits in here. Oh, how cute! Look at this one. And then there's this one. And this one. Lots of French knots in that one. Okay, I thought it was suspiciously a thick package. But I don't know, is all that floss supposed to... Oh, no, wait, I think each of these have their own flosses in them, so I think so. But anyway, I am going to keep this all together. I'm going to work on this because I would really like to improve my embroidery skills. But I am going to work on these for 2026. But this is as far as I've gotten on this piece. So look, there's all these will be French knots up here. And then all you do is wash it, and the ink on the background comes right off. I'm excited. I keep hearing little children outside, and I don't know where that's coming from. Jimmy is the youngest child in this. We know everybody in this neighborhood. Just so you know, my husband grew up here. His best friend grew up 2 houses down. His other best friend literally grew up in the house across the street. They game. They both live out of state now, but they game not every night, a couple times a week online. And their families still live in those houses. We know everybody on this block. His high school, one of his high school teachers lives 4 houses down. We know everybody on this block. There are no kids. Jimmy is the youngest. The next youngest kid on this block is 12 years old. Where is that coming from? That is creepy. It's like somebody is outside our front door singing. That is so creepy. Okay, boys. Okay, I'm here. I know, it's creepy. Come on now. Come on. We're good. Jimmy and his kinetic sand. All right, my dear ones. So that is my Wip Parade. Whew. That's a lot. And it's not even close to what will be happening in 2026. Because don't forget that I'm also doing 45 finishes in my 45th year. So anything that I finish after the age of my birthday on July 24th, I was about to give you my birth year, of July 24th of this next year counts towards my 45 in 45. So I'm going to be doing a lot of heavy prep work for that, but also I'm just going to have a freaking good time, and you will see that in my next episode, the freaking good time that's going to be had by y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. This was still a hodgepodge. I'm going to try and record my plans for 2026 next. My throat is killing me though. It's so dry here in Alaska. And I think Jimmy has woken up. So if I don't get to that, I will get to it probably on New Year's Day or something like that. But it'll be coming out soon. So, all right, my dear friends, remember to knit what you love and love what you stitch. Ta-ta for now. Okay, my friends. I'm really creeped out now. I'm eating spice drops as a result. I took the dogs outside. Went around the entire house perimeter. There are no kids outside. I checked Jimmy. He's sound asleep. Where is this singing coming from? All the devices are off. The dogs aren't freaking out anymore because we just went outside. They barked a lot outside. Do I have a ghost? Oh, I just saw Jimmy's teacher out on his front porch. Maybe he's hearing it too and he's wondering what's going on. This is so creepy.